The African region carries a high share of the global malaria burden, especially Nigeria. Now the question is, why is there a strong prevalence of malaria in Nigeria? As the world marked the 2021 World Malaria Day, the theme was centered on reaching the zero malaria target. In line with this, would it ever be possible to eradicate malaria from Nigeria? I'm Blessing Daiche. This is Viewpoint.
Malaria has remained a global public health challenge. Basically, malaria is the commonest cause of death in Nigeria, and it might interest us to know that malaria is still an endemic disease in Nigeria. Statistics have shown that 51 million persons suffer from malaria annually. That is 29% of the global record, and 208,000 persons die of malaria yearly. That is 26% of the global record. That is to say that the commonest cause of death in Nigeria is malaria, not even coronavirus. And people that are mostly affected by this malaria are children that are under 5 years of age and pregnant women. Statistically, 11% of maternal mortality or maternal death is caused by malaria. Malaria is a disease that is caused by the Plasmodium parasite, and this Plasmodium parasite is conveyed and carried by the mosquito bite. That is to say that if we are able to eliminate mosquito as a vector, automatically we are combating malaria. But the biggest question is, why is Nigeria as a country now the most affected by malaria? The factors we are going to consider is the geographical location. Because of the location of Nigeria, considering the climatic condition, the rainfall, the temperature, the humidity, this tends to favor the lifespan of the mosquito parasite or the mosquito vector itself. The rainfall tends to favor the breeding. Water must be required for mosquito to be able to reproduce and multiply. The high temperature in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, also tend to increase the lifespan of the adult mosquito. And those mosquitoes must have to live, they must have to feed. And what this female Anopheles mosquito depends on for their survival is the human blood. Therefore, if these mosquitoes are to strive and to live, they have to bite, suck blood, and through this process they carry this parasite from one person to another. Another factor we are still going to consider why malaria is more in Nigeria is poverty. Generally, many dwellers live in abject poverty. They live in slum area. Considering our population, how many good housing systems do we really have? Improper waste disposal have also contributed to mosquitoes in our environment, thereby increasing the burden of malaria.
If you look at the prevalence of malaria worldwide and other parts of the country in terms of stratification now, you see that Africa and of course Nigeria tend to carry the heavier burden or the heaviest burden of malaria disease. Now, from 2018 to 2019 till date, if you observe and you see the malaria burden and the statistics, you see that of the total to about 229 million infections of malaria worldwide. Africa accounts for over 80% of that burden. And Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Democratic Republic of Congo, they have 2/3 of that 94% shared amongst African countries. And this is a serious issue. In terms of vulnerability, the children are most vulnerable. They are most likely to suffer the severe form of malaria, which is cerebral malaria, as we call it. And that again is something of major concern. So, in terms of what do we do, how do we go about reducing it? If you look at the World Malaria Day and the theme of this year World Malaria Day, which was celebrated a few weeks ago, it is reaching the zero target malaria infection. And you see, the world tends to pursue it. But the problem with African countries, the problem with us in Nigeria, is how much priority is placed by the government on the control of this. Perhaps because it is curable, nobody cares as much. But people forget that over 400,000 persons die yearly from malaria. Yes. And this is a statistic that is fearful that we should look at. But again, government, to me, have not actually placed the necessary priority to ensure that we continue to reduce it. Don't get me wrong, it's both sides. The people have their role to play, the government also have their role to play. There should be some level of subsidy to ensure that most of these preventive measures, for instance, I expect government to give out insecticide treated net freely to almost every nook and crannies of this country, to everybody, and ensure that the anti-malaria drugs are available at very cheap rates.
Malaria is caused by mosquito, and in this part of the world, mosquito breeds, very well in our environment. And when we now talk about elimination, that means we have to eliminate all the mosquitoes we have around us. It is possible, but it's going to take a concerted effort by all stakeholders, government, individuals, NGOs and what have you. Because first of all, you have to let our people know what exactly is responsible for this. And again, the need for us to keep our environment clean, avoid places where you have stagnant water. And again, if, like we've heard recently, that there's now a vaccine, by the time you vaccinate the people and you eliminate all these other contributory factors, you discover that it's possible to eliminate malaria. And I think that has happened in some parts of the world. Nigeria cannot be an exception. All it needs is a concerted effort by all that are concerned. And if we do this, I think we can achieve it.
All hands must be on deck in the fight against malaria. Citizens have been advised to keep a clean environment as well as adhere to all preventive measures in fighting the malaria infection. Experts have advised government to facilitate prevention of malaria and subsidize anti-malaria drugs so even the very poor can afford it when necessary. I'm Blessing Aichi.